Hello everyone, happy Christmas from me, or should I say happy Tuesday, which is a message I want to send out to all of my friends and my family this year. Christmas is a time of year that is generally known to be spent with friends, with family, with loved ones, and perhaps more importantly is a time where people reflect a lot. And this isn't always a good thing. For me, I tend to get very reflective around Christmas. It's not the easiest time of year for a lot of people, including myself. 14 years ago on Boxing Day I received the news that on Christmas Eve of the same year somebody very important to me had taken their own life. Hello everyone, happy Christmas from me, or should I say happy Tuesday, which is a message I want to send out to all of my friends and my family this year. Christmas is a time of year that is generally known to be spent with friends, with family, with loved ones, and perhaps more importantly is a time where people reflect a lot. And this isn't always a good thing. For me, I tend to get very reflective around Christmas. It's not the easiest time of year for a lot of people, including myself. 14 years ago on Boxing Day I received the news that on Christmas Eve of the same year somebody very important to me had taken their own life. And that is something that even to this day I've never really fully moved on from. It's something I think about a lot, particularly at this time of year. It's a strange time of year. You want to be with your loved ones, you want to be around people. That's not always viable for everyone. Some people may be missing people, some people may be far away from people, some people may have fallen out with people and for whatever reason they can't get their shit together and make it work. So I just want to say to people not to let this date on a calendar, not to let these commercials on television or the Christmas movies or memories have too much of an impact on how tomorrow goes for you. Because after all, it's just another Tuesday. It is only the memories and the television and the newspapers and the billboards that have decided for you and for everyone else that tomorrow should be a significant day of reflection. If you are someone that reflects on things perhaps negatively, that isn't a naturally happy person or has depressive or suicidal tendencies at any point, if you do get dark and twisty, don't let this day take hold of you. If you've got through the last few Tuesdays, you can get through the next few Tuesdays. I was actually quite surprised to find out recently whilst doing some research ahead of this video that suicide attempts often decrease around the Christmas period, and I was wondering why, and then of course it is because you spend more time with friends and with family and people check in far more often than they would for the rest of the year. Sadly, they see a huge spike in January because there's the come down from that whole period where everyone makes more of an effort with each other, and that kind of makes me go, why are you only doing it now? Why are you not following it up in January? Why are you not going around to see people and inviting people to things and spending this time with people that are your loved ones for the rest of the year? Because time isn't an excuse, and neither is distance, not in a day of FaceTime and WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. Make the time for the people that you love, make the time for the people that you care about, not just on this day, but on the rest of the year. For those that are struggling, Here are some numbers for you, for my friends in Australia, for my friends here in New Zealand, for my friends over in the US, and for my friends back home. And for people who may not feel comfortable talking to a helpline or talking to strangers, talk to me. You're not going to interrupt my day, you're not going to interrupt my life. If anything, you reaching out to me is going to make it better. I remember Christmas 2009, I had recently been made redundant and essentially been made homeless. I was staying on the sofa of a friend's house, and in this house it was a 4-bedroom house, and I think 9 of us lived there. It was, you know, they were great people, but not ideal living situation for anyone. And I was a few years older than them, so it was yeah, it was tough. But due to this passing that had happened years earlier, I'd kind of cut myself off from Christmas. I didn't go and spend Christmas with my family for 10 years after this death, and this Christmas, which was 5 years later, it wasn't going to be any different. I didn't want to associate Christmas with this joy and sharing and loving and being around people you care about. I just kind of wanted to cut myself off. And I was very fortunate that actually the people around me didn't allow that to be the case. All the people I was living with were going to their families, but a friend of mine had found out that I was going to be on my own on Christmas Day, and his name is Ben, he told his housemate Jonathan that that was going to be the case. And it turns out that Jonathan's parents had actually come down to his uni house to spend Christmas that year, and they invited me over. I never met them, but it was a really nice day. And then I went back to my house and it was pretty empty, but 2 friends of mine came over with a plate of dinner from their family gathering, and then another friend of mine came over later in the evening and drank with me, and it kind of made me reevaluate the way I looked at Christmas, having spent several years really with a dark cloud over it. It's so easy for anyone, whether you are a depressive person or a negative person or the most positive person in the world, it's so easy to get inside your own head at this time of year because of the fact that you are being told, it's a happy, joyous time and you're meant to spend it with people. If, like me, you worked in the hospitality industry, you might not want to spend it with anyone. I can tell you a lot of my friends are ready to just enjoy the fact that they don't have to speak for a couple of days, and that's fine. If you see this and you're around Wellington, whether I am good friends with you, whether I know you casually, or whether I don't know you at all, I'm going to be here through the whole Christmas and New Year period. By all means, come and hang out with me. Most of the people I know here are 12,000 miles away from home, and for some that's a great big fun time to have with their friends and get really drunk, but for others, particularly people who are close to their family, and for some that's a great big fun time to have with their friends and get really drunk, but for others, particularly people who are close to their family, it can be really hard. The main point of this message is me saying that however you are spending this Christmas, whether it is with family, with friends, with colleagues, or on your own, make sure you're doing what you want to do, and make sure, especially if you are someone who is a naturally negative person, that you don't spend too much time inside your own head in a negative way. There's no reason that you should reflect on this day any more than any other day. There's no reason that this day should make you feel sadder or lonelier or darker or more twisty than any other day just because tradition says so. It's just another Tuesday. So happy Tuesday.